Hey everyone, this is the CUTECH 40600HC thickness planer. I really like the thickness planer. It has been an awesome piece of equipment to add to my shop. Really kind of opened a new world up for me for woodworking. So really excited, and I did a lot of research before purchasing this planer. I wanted to get something that was going to last, but also was reasonably priced. So I went with this CUTECH model. This is a spiral Cutterhead model. So it has those, and I chose the carbide inserts. They're super easy to change. That's one of the major advantages, but you also get a smooth finish when you are planing your material. This particular planer will handle 13 inches in width as well as 6 inches in thickness. Has a feed rate of 26 feet per minute and a cutter head speed of 9,500 RPMs. Really impressed with CUTECH's customer service. The shipping was super fast, it was well packaged, the instructions are clear, and I did have a bit of an issue that I'll discuss later that CUTECH went above and beyond to help me out with, so I feel really good about working with them in the future, and that makes me confident that this machine is going to last for a long time. So it weighs about 65 pounds. It's very sturdy and just quality built. A couple of the just basic features here. Here's your on-off switch. You've got this removable tab in case you need to kind of lock it out so no one can turn it on. This is really helpful for me, especially having small children. You've got your internal reset here. You also have a depth of cut gauge. It goes up to 1/8 of an inch for your aggressive cuts. You've got your cutter head position, and again, it handles 6 inches in thickness of material. Another one of the features on the planer that I really like is the depth lock gauge on the side here. You can see it goes from 1 3/4 inches down to 1/8 of an inch. This is just changes up the workflow a little bit on the planer. Instead of having to send each piece through while lowering the cutter head, you can just set your depth stop, run a piece, and then raise your cutter head back up, run back down to that depth stop setting. Just changes the workflow a little bit. I really like it. Gives you a little more flexibility in using the planer. Also, here is some footage of some raw hard maple versus some freshly planed hard maple. Super smooth finish. Really satisfied with all of the finishes that have come out so far. Okay, so the engineers at CUTECH actually contacted me after that last video and the issue that I showed with the spinning adjustment to lower and raise the cutter head. They actually got back to me really impressed with how all that went down. Pretty much the only issue is I need to adjust the torque setting on the rotating handle there, and they sent me several diagrams, even explaining that they tried to replicate the problem at their factory and were unable to do it. And so I'm going to give this a shot. They wanted me to adjust these two idler mechanisms here, so I just have to loosen this screw on the outside up and not remove it, and turn these idler mechanisms about 30 degrees. Okay, so I've made the torque adjustment and I'm going to check with the camera to see if the head migrates down at all when the machine is on. I've set the cutter head right on 2 1/4 inches. So I'll run it for a few minutes and we'll see if it's migrated at all. Okay, so I'm impressed. There was no movement, still at 2 1/4 inches here. You do see this little head spin just a little bit, but there's no movement on the actual adjustment here, so the cutter head does not go up and down. I'm really impressed. Okay, so just to show how much of an amateur I am at this, and I'm sure this is somewhere in the manual. I did look over the manual, but obviously I didn't see this. In my first video, if you'll look at this footage, you'll see that the chips are kind of going everywhere, and the way that this hood is designed is actually when it has dust collection hooked up to it, it has this bottom portion is snapped and closed tight. When the dust collection is not hooked up to it, I should be operating it like this, where it is open and the chips can come out, fall on the back, and they're not falling on the table where the piece is running through the thickness planer. So I got that wrong. If you saw that in the video, you know, just wanted to clarify that because that was completely a user error. Another issue I was having with my first video was the infeed and outfeed table. I didn't have them quite set right, so I used a little bit of weight and reset the lead screws and leveled them up, and it seems to be feeding more consistently now without so much wear on those infeed and outfeed tables. So if you're in the market for a thickness planer, go check out CUTECH's website. They've got several models there. They've got spiral cutter heads and straight knife planers. They've got jointers and accessories to go along with it all. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on CUTECH in the future. I think that they are building quality tools, and I like their business model, just selling on their website. So I think they're taking the middleman out of the equation a little bit and able to offer consumers a little bit more quality product. So keep your eye on them. And yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to us so we can bring you more tool reviews. Thanks.